Imagine you walking into your own home, the place where you are supposed to feel safest in the entire world. But instead of finding peace, you feel a constant sense of invisible pressure. Someone you love is staring at you with an intense, unblinking gaze that feels like a challenge. The air is thick with a floral scent so strong it makes your head spin and your nose burn. Suddenly, a giant hand reaches down from the ceiling, scoops you up while you are mid-nap, and traps you in a tight embrace you didn't ask for. To a human, these might seem like small annoyances or even acts of love. But to a cat, these are moments of genuine emotional distress. We often think of cats as these mysterious, stoic creatures who don't care about our feelings. But the truth is actually the exact opposite. Cats are masters of emotional observation. And because they are both predators and prey in the natural world, their nervous systems are tuned to a frequency of sensitivity that we can barely imagine. They don't have words to tell us when we are breaking their trust or hurting their feelings. Instead, they withdraw, they stop eating, or they develop mysterious health issues that are actually rooted in heartbreak. Today, we are going to expose 16 everyday things that emotionally hurt a cat. We are diving deep into feline psychology to understand why our normal human behaviors can feel like an attack on their soul. If you want to stop the unintentional emotional bruising and become the person your cat actually feels safe with, let us get straight into these 16 critical warnings. The first thing that emotionally hurts a cat is being stared at directly. In the human world, looking someone in the eye is a sign of respect and honesty. But in the cat world, a direct, fixed stare is a predatory behavior. It is what a hunter does before it pounces. When you stare at your cat from across the room because you think they look cute, your cat doesn't see affection, they see a threat. This creates a physiological stress response. Their heart rate increases, and they feel the need to either flee or defend themselves. To avoid hurting their feelings and causing this tension, you must master the slow blink. Closing your eyes slowly and looking away is the feline equivalent of saying, "I love you and I trust you enough to close my eyes in your presence." It lowers the emotional temperature of the room instantly and tells your cat that they can finally relax. The second emotional wound we often inflict is forced physical affection. We see our cats sleeping or grooming, and they look so soft that we just have to pick them up and squeeze them. But cats value their autonomy above almost all else. When you scoop a cat up against their will, you are taking away their ability to escape. This triggers a prehistoric fear of being captured. Even if they don't scratch you, they are feeling deep emotional discomfort. They feel like a toy rather than a sentient being. To respect their emotions, always use the consent test. Extend your hand, let them sniff you, and wait for them to rub their cheek against you. If they don't, leave them alone. Respecting their no is the biggest investment you can make in getting a yes later. Number 3 is the use of strong artificial scents. A cat's sense of smell is roughly 14 times more powerful than ours. They use scent to identify their family, their territory, and their own sense of self. When you spray heavy perfumes, use scented laundry detergents, or light intense candles, you are essentially erasing your cat's emotional map of their home. It is like someone coming into your house and painting over all your windows so you can't see outside. It makes them feel lost, anxious, and invisible in their own space. This emotional disorientation can lead to hiding or even inappropriate marking as they desperately try to reclaim their scent identity. Stick to unscented products whenever possible to keep your cat's emotional world clear. The fourth thing that hurts a cat emotionally is being shouted at or punished. Cats do not have a concept of right and wrong in the way humans do. They only have natural behaviors and consequences. If a cat scratches the sofa, they are following a biological need to mark territory. If you yell at them, they don't think "I shouldn't scratch the sofa." They think, "My human is unpredictable and scary." Punishing a cat doesn't change the behavior. It only destroys the bond of trust. Provide an alternative like a tall scratching post and reward them when they use it. True friendship with a cat is built on guidance, not fear. Moving to number 5, we have to talk about the emotional impact of a dirty litter box. This isn't just a hygiene issue. To a cat, their bathroom is a place of extreme vulnerability. If it is dirty, it sends a message that their needs aren't being met and that their territory is being neglected. It causes them significant anxiety because their instinct tells them that a dirty area attracts predators. When a cat is forced to use a dirty box, they feel degraded and stressed. Keeping that box pristine is a daily way of saying, "I respect your dignity and your safety." Number 6 is a big one. Ignoring their social cues for play. Cats are high-energy predators who need a regular outlet for their hunting instincts. When your cat brings you a toy or starts chirping at you, and you keep scrolling on your phone, you are rejecting a social invitation. For a cat, play is the ultimate bonding activity. Chronic boredom is emotionally painful for a cat. It leads to a state of depression and lethargy. If you constantly ignore their requests for engagement, they will eventually stop asking, and that is a sign of a broken spirit. Just 15 minutes of focused play a day tells your cat that they are an important part of your life. The seventh thing that emotionally hurts a cat is sudden changes in their routine. Cats find their emotional security in predictability. They have a very precise internal clock. When you suddenly change their feeding time, move the furniture, or bring in a new person without a slow introduction, it feels like an earthquake in their emotional world. They feel like the rules of their existence have been rewritten without their consent. This leads to a loss of confidence. If you must change things, number 8 is the emotional toll of loud noises. A cat's hearing is so sensitive they can hear the ultrasonic squeaks of rodents. Imagine how a slammed door, a loud TV, or a vacuum sounds to them. It is an assault on their senses. While we know the noise is harmless, the cat's nervous system goes into a state of high alert. If your home is constantly loud, your cat is living in a state of emotional trauma. They never feel truly at peace. Creating a quiet environment is essential for their emotional well-being. The ninth thing is laughing at them when they are embarrassed. Their immediate reaction is to groom themselves as a displacement behavior to regain their composure. If you point and laugh or make loud noises, they perceive your energy as mocking or aggressive. It sounds crazy, but cats are very sensitive to social dynamics. When they are at their most vulnerable, they need you to be a calm, supportive presence, not a source of confusing noise. Number 10 is being trapped in a room or a carrier without warning. Cats need to know they have an exit. The feeling of being cornered is one of the most emotionally distressing things a feline can experience. If you need to put them in a carrier, make it a positive place with treats and blankets, and leave it out as part of the furniture. Forcing them into a box twice a year for the vet visit makes that box a symbol of emotional betrayal. They feel like their trust in you was a trap. The 11th thing is neglecting their vertical space. A cat's emotional health is tied to their ability to see the world from a high vantage point. In the wild, being high up means being safe from predators and having a better view of prey. If your cat doesn't have a cat tree or a high shelf they are allowed to sit on, they feel emotionally exposed and small. They feel like they are constantly at the mercy of whatever is happening on the floor. Providing a high perch is like giving them an emotional throne where they can feel in control of their kingdom. Number 12 is the emotional hurt caused by inconsistent rules, but then yell at them the next day because you are cooking. You are gaslighting your cat. They cannot understand why the same action brings two different emotional responses from you. This makes them feel anxious and confused. They don't know where they stand with you. Consistency is the language of love for a cat. Decide on the rules and stick to them every single day so your cat feels the security of boundaries. The 13th thing that emotionally hurts a cat is the sudden arrival of a new pet without proper scent swapping. Just bringing a new puppy or kitten home and putting them on the floor is an emotional disaster for your resident cat. It feels like a hostile takeover of their home. They feel replaced and threatened. This can lead to deep grief and social withdrawal. You must introduce new family members through scent first, allowing the cat to process the change emotionally before they have to deal with it physically. Number 14 is the use of bells on collars. Imagine having a bell tied around your neck that rang every time you moved a muscle. For a silent stalker like a cat, this is an emotional nightmare. It interferes with their natural way of moving, and constant noise can lead to a state of sensory irritability. Many cats become more lethargic or frustrated because they can never truly be stealthy. If your cat is indoor only, consider removing the bell to give them back their silent dignity. The 15th thing that hurts a cat's feelings is poor grooming or being forced into a bath. Cats spend about 30% of their waking hours grooming themselves. It is how they regulate their temperature and their emotions. If their fur becomes matted and they can't clean it, they feel a sense of failure and physical discomfort that translates to emotional low mood. Conversely, forcing a cat into a tub of water is often a traumatic experience for an animal that isn't biologically adapted for swimming. It feels like a life-threatening event. Respect their self-grooming, and only intervene with professional, gentle methods when absolutely necessary. Finally, number 16 is long periods of isolation. There is a myth that cats are solitary and don't care if we leave for the weekend. The truth is that cats form deep emotional attachments to their humans. When you are gone for a long time without a consistent visitor, Your cat experiences separation anxiety. They feel abandoned. They don't know if you are coming back. This emotional trauma can manifest in overgrooming, loss of appetite, or destructive behavior. Your presence is the anchor of their emotional world. Why do these 16 things matter so much? Because the quality of a cat's life is defined by their emotional state. A stressed or emotionally hurt cat is a cat whose immune system is suppressed. Many of the most common feline illnesses, like cystitis or skin allergies, are triggered or made worse by emotional distress. When you choose to be mindful of these 16 points, you aren't just being a nice owner, you are being a life-saving guardian. You are creating a sanctuary where a small, sensitive animal can truly thrive. The common thread through all of these points is empathy. We have to stop looking at cats as if they are little humans or fancy robots. We have to look at them as the biological masterpieces they are. Every whisker, every ear flick, and every scent mark is a part of their emotional vocabulary. When we learn to read that vocabulary, we stop hurting them by accident. We start to give them the respect their species deserves. If you have realized you've been doing some of these things, don't feel guilty. The fact that you are listening to this means you care. Cats are remarkably forgiving once the environment changes for the better. Start today by making your home a scent-neutral, quiet, and predictable place. Stop the staring and start the slow blinking. Give them the vertical space they crave and the autonomy they deserve. You will see a change in your cat's eyes. They will look softer, more relaxed, and more connected to you. The purr of a cat is one of the most beautiful sounds in nature, but it can also be a sign of self-healing. If your cat is purring while you are ignoring them, they might be trying to soothe their own loneliness. Don't let them do all the emotional work. Reach out with a gentle word, a soft gaze, and a high-quality treat. Build a bridge of positive associations. Make sure that when your cat looks at you, they see a source of total safety and joy. Communication with a cat is a silent dialogue. It happens in the gaps between your movements. It happens in the way you walk through a room. If you move loudly and abruptly, you are communicating chaos. If you move with awareness and softness, you are communicating peace. Your cat is watching you every second, learning whether today is a day they can be emotionally open or a day they need to stay on guard. Be the person who allows them to be open. Consider the layout of your home from a cat's perspective. Are there places where they can be cornered by the dog or the kids? If so, that is an emotional trap. Rearrange the furniture so they always have two ways out of any area. This escape route philosophy is a massive booster for feline confidence. A confident cat is a happy cat. An emotionally secure cat will explore more, play more, and live longer. Think about the way you provide their food. Is it in a high-traffic area where they feel someone might step on them? Move it to a quiet corner. Is the bowl too deep, causing whisker fatigue because their sensitive whiskers hit the sides? Switch to a flat plate. These tiny adjustments show your cat that you understand their physical and emotional reality. It is a form of respect that goes deeper than any spoken word. We also have to be mindful of our own emotions. Cats are incredibly sensitive to our stress. If you come home from work angry and slamming things, your cat absorbs that tension. They don't know the boss was mean. They just know the world is currently vibrating with negative energy. Try to do a mental reset before you interact with your cat. Take a breath, drop your shoulders, and bring a feeling of calm into their space. They will thank you for it with their presence. The bond between a human and a cat is one of the most rewarding relationships on Earth. But it is also one of the most delicate. It requires constant maintenance. It requires the willingness to see the world from a height of 10 inches. You are moving from a pet owner to a soul companion. I want to encourage you to go to your cat right now. Find them wherever they are, and offer a slow, gentle blink. Don't try to touch them yet. Just give them that signal of peace. Then perhaps place a single treat on a flat plate a few feet away. Sit on the floor and just exist with them. No phones, no noise, just you and your feline friend. This simple moment of shared presence is the best medicine for any past emotional hurts. Being a cat guardian is a privilege. We are living with a tiny... Every time you respect their nap, every time you keep the volume down, and every time you offer choice instead of force, you are strengthening that trust. You are telling your cat that their feelings matter. As we conclude this deep dive, remember that your cat is a student of your behavior. They know your routines better than you do. Use that to your advantage. Create rituals of love that are consistent and gentle. A specific way you say hello, a specific time for play, a specific soft blanket you only bring out during cuddle time. These rituals become the emotional anchors of your cat's life. Thank you for being the kind of person who wants to do better for their cat. The world can be a harsh place for animals, but your home can be their paradise. By being careful with their emotions, you are ensuring that their journey through life is a beautiful one. Your cat doesn't need a million toys. They need a human who understands their heart. Stay observant, stay empathetic, and always look for the story your cat is telling you with their tail and their eyes. They are always talking. We just have to be quiet enough to listen. Let these 16 warnings be your guide to a deeper, more profound relationship. You and your cat have a long journey ahead. Make sure it is one filled with emotional safety and mutual respect. Cheers to a happier, more secure, and more loved feline friend.